record because that's better. All right. So let me pull this up now. So this is slow to speak. It comes from the Bible verse. I wanted to name it The Conversation, as Dante knows, because I told him that, but that was already taken, so I had to come up with a different name. Basically, my whole entire plan with this is to have a conversation with people that I never really got to know their stories or like where they came from or what, ultimately what led them to be where they are right now. So my plan with this is to basically provide an area where people can come share their life, because I think a lot of people just need to be able to talk to people and need to be able to have someone to listen. So I hope I can encourage people to go out there and listen to people who need their voice to be heard and to need something to share, and just being a light to communities around. Slow to speak comes from a Bible verse in James, and it's be slow to speak and fast to listen, pretty much. I don't have it exactly pulled up, but that's the gist of it. And so today I have Dante Hibbert here. We went to ACU together. We were both in GSP at ACU. He played football for them, and now he's coaching and teaching at Childress Middle School, football and track. So thank you, Dante, for joining today.
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm glad you're doing.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm pumped that you're able to be here.
Definitely, for sure, man.
So what's your life been like these past couple of months, I guess, through quarantine and everything?
It's been rough, man. It's I mean, I'm single and I'm coaching. So like the highlight of my days are the kids.
Yeah.
And so quarantine stuff, happened. And the coronavirus, it slowed my life down big time. And I never went into a depression, but I kind of went into like this hole where I was just like, man, like, I'm literally I'm bored. I'm by myself. Like,
yeah,
I miss kids. Like, they were like I said, they were the highlight of my day. And so it was rough, but it also helped me like get stuff done that I've never paid attention to. And it also helped me get back into working out. And it also helped me find self-love and start loving myself again, and loving what I do, of course, and trying to find other things that make me happy besides, my job. And so it was bad at first, but after a while I got curious and I got smart and I started to do things, and I benefited from it big time.
Okay, that's awesome. You sound way more productive than I've been, because I've just been playing video games this whole time. So
a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I bought like a whole streaming setup and started streaming on Twitch to like 2 viewers. So that's been awesome. And it's just like my parents. So, but yeah, that's awesome. How did you end up at Childress from like ACU?
So at ACU, I had a good buddy named Garrett Stevens. He was a walk-on. And with me being the captain of the team and all that stuff, I reached out to all the walk-ons and made sure, everything was good with them. And Garrett was a friend of mine, and I worked at Men's Warehouse while I was at ACU, and he applied for a job there, and he was going to get the job anyway because he's a good guy, and they liked him. But I gave him a word as well. And one day, truly, we were sitting there, and after all my NFL stuff fell through, me and he there at Men's Warehouse, and he was like, so, like, what else do you want to do? And I'm just like, man, coaching is kind of something I've always wanted to do. Like, my goal was never to go to the NFL. It was to coach. And he was like, well, that's funny because my dad just, like, sent me a message asking, do I know anybody that will want to go coach at my high school and teach social studies? And I was like, nah, I'm okay. Like, I told him, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Well, the opportunity is there. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And we blew it off and went on about our business and was selling suits. And then, I mean, I think like 2 or 3 days later, he called me one morning. He texted me one morning and was like, "Hey, my dad just wants you to interview for the job, to go up there. You like it, and if you don't, it's cool, but at least interview." And Garrett's a good guy, and, you know, we had some good times. So I was like, man, you know, I trust this guy. Like, of course, I'm going to go do it. So I go and I come here and I talked to the head coach for about 2 or 3 hours. And then I come here on like a couple of days later and interviewed and met some higher ups here and met, you know, the principals and some of the other staff members. And I loved it, man. It's a small town. I'm kind of a small town guy. And I was born in the big cities, but I was never a big crowd guy anyway. So small town was a deal for me. So I liked it. And they had a couple chicken places and burger places. And I got like, man, that's kind of the deal that I wanted. It was a great place to start my platform in coaching.
Yeah.
And I knew it was the next best thing besides playing. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is something, and it was going to be steady income. Let's be honest. That's something that I had to put into it. So I was like, man, you know, I think this is where I need to you know, start, and this is where I need to build my ground. And from there, man, I signed those papers, and it's a story from there.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I've always thought about like coaching and stuff, but I don't know if I could, you know, I don't know if I ever would actually end up doing it, but I've thought about it. Just because it's a lot of work, a lot more than I feel like a lot of people really know, because you have to go from teaching into planning workouts into doing all this stuff. And so I applaud the effort that you've put into all that stuff. So I guess we can move past the catching up kind of stage. So you just want to take me into like, I mean, step by step, I'm down for any part of your life that you want to share about anything from the beginning all the way to how we both ended up in GSP somehow. And then, I mean, you kind of shared where you're at now, but you can go back into that if you want. So.
Okay. Well, I'll just share like brief. I mean, if I sit here and talk about my life the whole time, we're for a couple of days. So, you know, I'll start about my childhood. My parents were from Jamaica. Both were born and raised in Jamaica. They came over to America, and truly, you know, my mom thought like, you know, if we have kids in America, you know, we'll be all right. And back then probably was like that, you know. And so we had 4 of us in America, and, you know, of course I was one of them. I was born in New York. I was born in the Bronx, New York, and over time I moved to Georgia. When I moved to Georgia around about 6, 7, 8, around there, that's when the stuff in my life started to kind of, I guess, fold over. We moved to Georgia. It was amazing at first, and everything was good. And, you know, my mom was happy, and my dad stayed in New York, and they're separated. But it was okay. Like, you know, Georgia was a better outlet for us, and it was cheaper, and it was good. And then out of nowhere, to be honest with you, one morning, we were living in Grayson, and one morning, man, just a bunch of cops and everything came in the house and busted in around about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and took everybody that didn't have papers. And of course was one of them, and they didn't leave us no explanation. And so we were stuck in the house. It was me, my little brother, and my oldest sister. And they left us no explanation, didn't tell us nothing, didn't let our mom, like, try to find somewhere for us, nothing. They just took them and left.
Yeah.
And us 3 in the house. And, you know, all that went on. And then, you know, my basketball coach at the time, Jerry Vincent, which is my adopted dad, he came in and he adopted me. At the time when he adopted me, he was going through a lot of stuff with his family. And so the fact that he adopted me during that time, it was very crucial and very like blessing, because it's like he did it just truly for the love and for just the love he had for me. And that was amazing, because truly he was going through a lot. And and once again, I'm skipping through a lot of things, but I got adopted.
But how old were you around that time?
I was 13. I got adopted at 13. So I was in
So you're still pretty young. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was in junior high. So
Yeah.
now I was in
That,
junior high. I was about
that's crazy.
13, probably 14. And so he adopted me. He was my AAU basketball coach. He adopted me, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to set my AAU basketball coach as my dad. And so, my mom signed off on it, everything, and cool. She went back to Jamaica. She got sent back to Jamaica, and I was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the process of being adopted, I had to buy into a system.
Yeah.
And everybody has a system in some way, somehow. Like when you're on a basketball team, that coach has a system. When
Mm-hmm.
you're at work, your boss has a system, just how they want things ran. And my adopted dad, he was a system guy. And he had a system in place in the household, and it needed to be ran that way. And that was the end of it,
Yeah.
I wasn't used to. I wasn't used to it, and I didn't buy into it. So it was rough. The first couple of years was truly rough. It was
Yeah.
bad. It was times that I didn't want to be there. Truly, it was times that he probably didn't want me there. But
Mm-hmm.
he took on the task of adopting me, and I took on the task of going. So we had to make it work.
For
And
sure.
so one day it was truly, I felt like it was my fault. So one day, I truly was like, I'm going to buy in. I need to. Like, I really love this family. They did a big thing for me. They
Mm-hmm.
don't owe me nothing. I truly owe them something. And I need to show them that I want to be here. I want to be a part of the family. So, man, I bought in, and it was amazing. It was good. And one thing I
Yeah.
kind of told my dad was, my adopted dad, when he adopted me, was he won't have to pay for school, like college.
Okay.
And a lot of us anyway, like he had kids. So, like, I didn't think he would be able to, but I knew he would have tried his hardest to. But I told him, like,
You froze for a second. Are you coming back?
I froze.
Yeah. All right. You're good now. I
Okay,
think.
yeah. So I told him, like, you wouldn't have to pay for school.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on, we got into high school, and me and my brother, we were the same age, and we ran through high school together, played basketball, truly never played football. He played football young ages, and I didn't. And so when we got to high school, I transferred. We went to South Gwinnett my first year. I played
Okay.
basketball. And then my second year, I went to Shiloh High School, played
Mm-hmm.
basketball there. And then I had a coach that convinced me to play football. At the time, I didn't like football. I wasn't a physical guy. I wanted to finesse and go around,
Mm-hmm.
make layups and shoot the ball. It wasn't my deal to play football. And then my junior year, my dad moved me to Loganville High School, where I found myself, and I made who I am now today. And I moved to Loganville, and boom, I got convinced to play football, and I played football. My junior year was the first time I ever played. I played 1 year when I was a younger kid, but didn't like it, and truly
Mm-hmm.
just me. But true football was my first year, was my junior year of high school, and played that year, then played my senior year, set some goals out for myself, and did good. But I didn't take care of business in the classroom. Now, half truly wasn't my fault because we transferred from 3 different schools, but half of it was. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't take care of business. So had a good career. Like I said, I'm truly just skipping through things, but had a good
Yeah.
career at Loganville, had an amazing career at Loganville, basketball and football, and got some offers, and I couldn't take them because of my grades. So I looked junior college. My coach, my O-line coach at the time, Coach Johnson, was just like, man, you should look junior college. You
Mm-hmm.
should experience of playing, you'll get more experience of playing, and it'd be good ball, and then you have a chance to transfer anywhere you want. So I said, for sure. So went to junior college my first year and got in trouble. I was hanging out with the wrong people,
Mm-hmm.
dumb stuff. Truly, I don't know. They weren't the wrong people at the time, but I was just doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And one of them still my friend now, and got into some trouble, and I really thought it was over. I thought, like, man, I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
No coming back from it. And, I believe in second chances myself, but not a lot of people in this world believe in a second chance. And
For sure.
crazy because I got one. I got a second chance, and I got offered by Independence, and I went to Independence where I was really good, and I took care of my school, and then I transferred to ACU. I had big offers from places, Boise State, Syracuse. I had big offers, but
Wow.
I couldn't go because the trouble that I got in my first year. And
Yeah.
they let me in until, everything was erased, which it was going to be erased a month after that. But once again, some schools just didn't want it. But
Mm-hmm.
ACU stuck with me. ACU stuck with me. ACU recruited me. I actually turned down ACU the first time they came and saw me because I thought I was too big for it. And my dad told me on the phone that night, like, it doesn't matter how big you are or how good you think you are for that school. Don't burn any bridges. There's two sides to every bridge.
Yeah.
And I called back that coach and told him, like, I will accept your offer. And I was like, but I'm weighing out my options to see what we're going. And ACU stuck with me through the thick and thin. So I took a visit there and I loved it.
Yeah.
Amazing. He was nice. People on campus was amazing. The coaches were great recruiters. And it was good, and I ended up at ACU.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, sorry, you're still going.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say. So, how did you end up in GSP? Because for me, that was like I know Abby helped with that. I think a lot, like getting you to pledge and everything. But for me, you were kind of the first athlete, like kind of who wasn't really like us a lot, if that makes sense. And so, and then you pledged, and to me, it was kind of like an eye shocker, and like it was awesome to see that like for some reason you saw something like in GSP or just in the social club life at ACU as like something that you wanted to be a part of. And so
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to ask about that real quick.
definitely. Well, going back a little bit, I went through a lot of stuff in my life, man.
Mm-hmm.
I said I lived without my parents for a year, for a couple months because they got deported, and I had good friends back then, and it was just a lot. I went through a lot, and when I got to Loganville, I found myself. I found a family.
Yeah.
Robert Stanfield, and I had my another best friend, Zach Mason. I found those guys. Those guys treated me well. I had a Genesis OG. He treated I had some good friends. I had a good group. Tony, I had some good group of guys that showed me the right way. Black, white, I had
Mm-hmm.
everybody that showed me the right way. And so I never saw color.
Yeah.
And I truly didn't. Sometimes the black folks would get mad that I was hanging out with the white people. Sometimes truly the white people will get mad that I was hanging out with the white people. That's how it was. But I was the guy that brought them together. Like I truly was. And I'm not MLK, and I'm truly nobody. I'm
Nah,
somebody.
I saw it at ACU.
Yeah, I'm somebody, but I brought them together. So,
Mm-hmm.
when I got to ACU, to now answer your question, when I got to ACU, I saw a huge, predominantly white campus, a
Mm-hmm.
predominantly white college with black athletes. Like that's
Yeah,
what I
pretty much.
It was all white, but all the athletes were black. And we had white athletes too. But if you are black, you're majority an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was truly like everything that I've been through in my life with Loganville and stuff. So I was okay with it. And my first year I went and, played pickup ball with you guys in the gym and
Heck yeah.
talk trash and all that stuff. At
For
the end of the
sure.
y'all shook my hand and we were cool, and y'all text me for the next pickup game, and I brought the football guys, y'all brought the pledge guys, and we did it like that.
Yeah.
And then, I met Abby, and man, Abby was a good dude, and I met Robert,
Yes,
and they were good dudes, and Abby, we became friends through being athletic. I thought he was very athletic, and we played good all together. So I met him there, and then Robert was a spiritual guy, and he was Abby's friend. And I met him through spiritually, like he was the getaway,
Yeah.
Dude, reversing to about my second year, the year I pledged, which has been truly my senior year, but I graduated a year early. But the year I pledged, man, Abby and Robert was just begging me, like, man, you should do it. Like, this is this, this, and this. And I'm just like, it's just not me, like, truly, I was afraid of what I thought the football guys would think, or I was afraid about, man, going through prison, somebody, like, people will laugh at me. I was. And
Yeah.
I've never nothing, but I was like, man, I'm a football player. Like, I'm like the big guy on campus. Like, that ain't for me. So I blew it off. And then the day of tease, Robert texted me, was like, hey, are you still coming? And I'm just like, yeah, I'll come. After tease, when we did all our deal, I walked out of there and I was just like, it's kind of weird. I was
It's very weird.
but I was like, man, these guys were just so happy. They treated me just like every other kid, but they were just so happy that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to the house, man.
You froze for a second again.
You hear me?
Yeah. There you are.
I was like, I think I can be the guy that bring the social club and the athletes together. Now, it was guys before me, Reese. It was guys before me in other clubs that pledged, but I just had a different spotlight on me. One, because I was African American, but two, who I was around campus. I was the referee. Like, I refereed all the intramurals games, so I knew everybody. So I just sat back at home and I was telling my best friend DJ, like, hey, I think I can be.
You froze again, but it looks like you should be coming back soon. There you go. Yeah, you're back. What'd you tell DJ? Oh, froze again. Dang it. This is bad. So I should probably keep it going while Gator's frozen. He keeps moving and it's weirded me out. But yeah, like, so to everyone listening, Gator was, in my opinion, one of the first big athletes to actually pledge. And then after Gator, we got Corey, and Corey was my little in club and love Corey to pledge. And then we got Coy and Samaje this year, who all three of them, I don't think really would have pledged GSP or went GSP if it wasn't for Gator's example and leading that and kind of mending the two groups together, I felt like. And so when you showed up at Coffee's, me and Brevin, I remember were both like, heck yeah, like Gator showed up, let's go. Like, we were all pumped that you ended up being there. And because you truly were like the first one and kind of helped us build a bridge together because we hadn't really had that bridge yet,
Yes, sir. And you can hear me?
Yes, I can now.
And that was a big deal. And I totally said tease like I was joining a girl's Coffees. Guys will get a kick out of that when they watch this.
Oh, for sure. I heard it and I was like, I think I'm too outside of the pledging game now, so I didn't register for me either. So I was like, oh, well.
I'm so out of it that I said tease, but of course Coffees. But like I was saying, and I sat back and I told DJ, like, I can be the guy that brings the athletes in with GSP or with just social clubs, period. Mm-hmm. And, I did it. And I was happy that I did it. And you guys were another friend group that I just joined into. Like, I had the football guys, we were football players, we like had fun, partied and stuff. And then I had you guys that we did the same thing. We had fun, we partied a little bit, but y'all also pulled out the spiritual side of me, and y'all taught me a lot about, y'all brought out the faith in me, and I truly learned to have fun again outside of the game of football.
Okay.
That's what I got from GSP. And then, man, when I did it, I was just like, man, like, it was amazing. Everybody, I loved everybody. Everybody loved me. Y'all showed me so much love. And then I started getting the love around campus. And then I start catching eyes from other guys like Corey, like Samad, like Coy. And I start catching eyes from Luke Anthony was going to go, was pledging anyway, but him and then Landry. Like, I start getting guys on the football team to just start pledging. And then a couple guys go Noble Kings. And, like, people were just pledging. And I don't want to give all credit to me because I feel like people has been doing it. But truly, I felt like after I joined GSP, we got 4 or 5 black athletes to join GSP. But we also got 10, 12 football players to join the social clubs. And because I felt like the girls' social club side was always the one getting all the athletes. And after the year I pledged, it was like, I think I just opened the gate to like, man, this stuff is cool. You know, Gator did it.
Oh, yeah.
Hibbert did it. I can do it. And like I said, I don't want to take all credit for it, but it is true. It was a time where I'm like, dang, nobody's doing this. Like, none of the athletes are doing this. And then I did it, and then 5 or 6 football players did it in a row. And truly, 5 or 6 black football players did it, which was different as well for ACU. So I was happy about that. And, you know, and it got me seen on a lot of levels. And me and Schubert were, you know, got close about, and not only because of that, but because of football. And, man, the coaches were talking about it. The coaches started to find out truly what a social club is and the difference between us and Greek life. And it's like I just brought everybody together once again.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about, man, because I have an Abilene family that they're white and that they took me in and they showed me love. And I have my adopted family back in Georgia and they're black. But I also have another family back in Georgia that's white that did the same thing for me, took me in and showed me the like love and didn't see color. And her mom was still alive and she was very older and she was a little sick at the time. And she was the person that I thought would like see a bad thing in it because she was so older. No, she showed me love. She loved when I came over. She knew when I walked through the door, she smelled me and she knew like I was there and she showed me love. And so I truly never saw color. I knew what was going on in the world, but I thought I can be the guy that can bring the 2 or 3 or the 4 or the 5 groups together. And I did that at ACU. And I think that's what made me who I was at ACU. And that's why I can go back there anytime and show my face and get love from everybody. For
sure. Every time you show up, I'm like, heck yeah. And like, I got to come dap you up and give you a hug, dude.
For sure. It's amazing. And then I, to put this out here, the support that I got during football, like if it was 10 people in the stands, it was 10 GSP guys.
You froze a second, but I heard you. We had to Gators point, like during pledging, we made our like all of our pledges chant Gator and do like a Gator chomp and do like a bunch of stuff to like hype them up and hype up any of the guys on the football team that ended up in GSP.
And that was like amazing for me. Ain't nothing like third down. And I'm in at nose guard and it's third down. And right before the play's about to go, I look to the right and see 15 to 20 people just chanting my name.
Yeah.
Like, now I have to get the stop. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It hypes you up. You're like, let's do it.
Amazing. And then it was just amazing to see how it was good. It was great. You know, and then once again, shout out Fink. Fink had a lot to do with us because we pledged together. And
for sure.
So it was amazing, man. I loved it.
It's awesome. So like you kind of talked about the background. Let's transition kind of into everything going on right now. What's real fast? Can you move from behind the window? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's causing kind of a glare. There we go.
That good?
I probably should have said that earlier, but it's fine. I just kind of realized it. But so what's your thoughts on like what's going on right now with the rioting and the protest and also with the brutal death of George Floyd?
Man, I talk, you know, I've spoken on it and I haven't made a really big video for the public because, you know, I'm a teacher and I know whatever anybody going to say, somebody's going to contradict you no matter what. You're going to get, you know, somebody's going to say something that is different from what you're saying. And I don't want it to turn into an argument on social media because that's not me.
Yeah.
I have been, you know, I've been doing the inside scoop of changing. And that's by educating my kids, educating my black kids, educating my white kids, educating my poor kids, educating my rich kids. I'm doing that aspect of it because I don't have kids. You know, I'm 24. I don't have kids. So I'm trying to educate the young kids that I teach. They're getting it at home, but it's good to have that secondary person.
For sure.
So that's how I'm changing it, and that's how I'm speaking up. I'm speaking up to the young generation because they're going to be the next generation to come up, and they're going to go through this again. I hate to say it, but they will.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
with all this stuff that's going on, man, I'm pretty beyond crazy. Once again, I mean, everybody noticed the cops that was wrong. It was 100%.
Absolutely.
They deserve whatever truly happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
But right is right and wrong is wrong on every occasion to me. And, with that stuff, I am a black man, and I am a big black man at that. I mean, so I do see from cops' perspective when they pull over a 6'2", 300-pounder that they're scared for their life too. And I know they're trained and they're armed, and I'm maybe or maybe not armed, but they're scared for their life too, because they see my statue in the car and they're like, whoa, like this guy's huge. So they're scared. Now, should they pull for their gun and should they do all that extra stuff? I don't know.
No, probably not.
They're really scared. And when I get pulled over, truly, I'm never scared when I get pulled over. But as a black man, I am sometimes worried, like, man, if this cop training wasn't as good, or he just scared I'm a big statue and he thinks I'm reaching for something, boom, 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 then it can go south. With said, I want to train the kids that I teach today when you get pulled over what to do. Not only black kids, white kids as well. Not only white kids, Mexicans as well. Not only Mexicans, Hispanic, like other race, or like even the people that's from overseas that's living in America. You're a part of us now.
Yep.
So I want to train those kids that I teach, like, hey, when you get pulled over, man, have your hands on the steering wheel and just be polite. And that's all you can do. And if it does go south and you get hurt in the midst of it, yes, he's 100% wrong and he deserved whatever needs to happen to him. But if you did all those procedures and you still got beaten, or you got killed, or you still got mistreated, if you're alive, go report it. If you die, we need to do something about that, because it's not right. But make sure you're right and make sure you're doing the right things, so when the occasion does happen, you can sit back and say, well, I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? So it's bad, man. It's crazy. The world is crazy right now. And I understand, the people that's rioting and looting, I wouldn't go do that. So I'm against it, but they feel a certain type of way and they're going to do what they think to get the voice. I feel a certain type of way and I'm going to do what I think that's going to get people to hear my voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
everybody.
For sure. You froze again, but I'll go into the point that I kind of wanted to go into real quick, is that, yeah, like the peaceful protesters and everybody out there who are out there like actively trying to cause like a change by voicing their opinion. Like, you can't say anything bad about those people. That's the freedom of speech. Like, they're out there, they're allowed to do it. Like, nothing's wrong with that. The only problems that I see right now are the looters and the rioters out there to cause physical damage and violence to people out there. And those normally aren't people who are mourning to death. They're people who are trying to take over the narrative. They're people like white supremacist groups that are terrible people that are out there trying to make it look like black people and African Americans are doing all these things. And it's also Antifa, which I hate calling them Antifa because they're not really Antifa, because they're not anti-fascist, but they're out there just causing violence, setting stuff on fire just to cause a panic because they enjoy that. And so like this whole rioting and looting is terrible. The protesting, everything's fine. I haven't seen anyone ever say that you're not allowed to be out there and protesting and trying to cause a change between police, because obviously there does need to be a change. There's violence all over inside the police precincts and everywhere. But to me, it just seems like the police officer that killed was in the murder pretty much of George Floyd. He had been in 17 wrong situations. Like, he had been filed for and everything. And so like, obviously there's something that needs to change within the way that the police handle misconduct and everything like that, so that we can get these officers that are bad and who are abusing their power off of the badge, and
off
so
the
that
road.
they can't be doing that type of stuff. And so
And
like
that's
I agree
100%.
with all the protesters in the fact that they're out there doing that. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you
You're
saying?
right. I agree with that too. That's 100% true, and that's how it's supposed to be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you go out and protest, go out and do it and fight for what you need to fight for. But I'm saying, my point, if I was to make a point, I went on national TV and made a point, is
Mm-hmm.
everybody handles things a little bit differently.
For
You
sure.
have people that go out and protest and think that that's going to change it. Yes, that's changing it in your way. I'm the type that I think we should start from the generation that's about to come up and teach them
Yeah.
from. Because racism, you know, and people, like I said, anything I say and anything you say, somebody else is going to have a different opinion, which is
For
okay.
sure.
But the thing with me, racism is in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, back in the days, it was mainly the black and white, but racism is in everything. Like, you can be racist to a type of thing. Like, blue is my favorite color.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm racist to red. I'm not a gangbanger though, but I just like blue and don't like red. Well, I just bought a red pickup. So it's like now I called my red pickup Big Blue, but still now I just bought a red pickup. But now I like it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just with me. I go out and I went to ACU and I seen, white people, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I can fit in with that group. And they're probably looking at me like, man, I don't know if that guy will ever want to talk to me. And then me and you meet, and we're like buds, and we go play ball, and then like I gave what's his name a Black Pride shirt from the Noble Kings, and he was like, can I wear this? And I said, yes, you can.
Yeah.
That's like me saying, you're asking me, you give me a cowboy hat, and I'm like, can I wear this? Well, yeah, it says cowboy. It don't say white boy or black boy. It says cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the church says Black Pride. It's just that he's not like everybody. He's not like the other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I, like I said, with this stuff that's going on, it's really crazy. And don't get me wrong, the racism and all stuff needs to stop or needs to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how you react to it. If you want to make a change through your family first. Make a change through your household first, and then you can try to go change somebody else's mind.
Mm-hmm.
I can go change my little brother's mind before I can go out in the street and change a guy's mind I've never met.
Exactly.
So how about everybody saying speak out and do all these things? Yes, do that. But how about you start in your household first and then go out and protest and go out that. And that's how it is. But man, I love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a peacemaker. I see the good in everybody, and I give everybody fair chance to show me their true colors. And I see the good in everybody. I'm not always right. I'm not perfect, but like I said, I give everybody their fair chance to show me who they are, no matter what color you are. And that shows what I did at ACU.
For sure.
It is what it is. It was racist people at ACU. It was racist black people. It was racist white people. It is what it is. But when I came around, I brought everybody together. And that's what I was. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's crazy right now. And, and I want things to, try to slow down a little bit. But I'm always going to, speak up for everybody. I'm not only speaking for the black community. I'm not only speaking for the white community. I'm not only speaking for the poor community, or I'm not only speaking for the rich community. I came to be a coach. I wanted to be a coach, and I want to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Coach and teacher. Teacher, you teach everybody. Coach, you have to coach everybody. Life is, when you're a father, you're a coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. When you're a father, you're a teacher. When you're a mother, you're the same. I'm just saying a father because I'm a man. But when you're a father, you are a brother, you are a teacher, and you are a coach. Everybody is a true teacher and a coach. Some just do a little bit more than others.
For sure. And so, like, on that note, I think you closed it out perfectly. I'm gonna say thank y'all for listening. If y'all made it this long, I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but Gator had such good things to say, I couldn't cut him off because he just kept going with points that, like, I agree with 100%. And like you you spoke those very well. And so thank you again for doing this. I know it's like my first podcast ever, so I did, I don't know. I probably didn't send you all this information right at the right time, but so thank you again, dude. Uh you're an awesome dude. Like I love you, dude. And the fact that like your story and what you come from and what you've like overcome and powered through is awesome. And the adversities you've gone through, and I'm inspired by the way that you're like teaching your students and uh, coaching them through life and letting them learn what a life of like Christ should look like and what they should be striving for. And I think you're a pure embodiment of that. And so I appreciate you for coming on. I'm going to end recording now. If you want to keep talking, I'm down, but I'm just going to end the podcast.